When the sun goes down, that's right. It's time for Sports Hour.
The quarterback that beat the Kansas City. Oh, no, it's actually Sara.
The flip was switched and the lights came on.
Lights were on.
Hey, Sara, go long.
Oh, wait, Trevor. I play football. Go first.
Guys, I just want to talk about golf this year. That's all I want.
Guys, I just want the Sabres to be good this year.
Hello, everyone. Apologize for the delay, but Sports Hour is up and running. You better believe it.
Yes.
I'm your host, Trevor. We got Sara. We got Brock. We're going over some AFC Week 10 matchups. I think we got to start off with the local team. Probably Game of the Year candidate. I think it has to be up there somewhere. Not really outcome of the year for you guys.
No.
But 33-30 overtime, past the 2-minute warning. This game went on for almost 5 full quarters.
Yeah,
Vikings took down the Bills in OT.
they did. They did. Rather unfortunately for us, but it was a really good game to watch. I couldn't watch the full thing because I was out filming a short film, but I was able to watch pretty much like the first half where the Bills were in the lead
Up
by
by
a
14
lot.
at halftime.
Up by 14
Yep.
at halftime, and we're looking like the Bills team we knew at the beginning of the year.
Season pros.
Right, and then things kind of went downhill from there. I don't know, they're falling back. This used to be a problem, then it wasn't a problem, now it's like a problem again, where they're kind of giving up, not giving up mentally or anything like that, it's just like somehow they're giving up all these points in the second half, and they're letting the other team come back, and that's what, again, happened this game.
I mean, despite the points and just the overall offensive shootout it was, we saw some crazy catches in this game.
Yes.
Stephon Diggs with the
Diggs.
one-hander. You had Justin Jefferson with the one-hander. Like, in midair, into double coverage, Justin Jefferson somehow pulled that down. That was a 4th down and 18, by the way. Down by
Easy.
3 points. And then you get, obviously, the goal line play. First down and goal at the 3, didn't get it. Second down, got a little closer, but didn't get in. Third down, didn't get it. Fourth down, didn't get in.
Nope.
You think the game's over. The Bills tweeted out that the game was over. Ball game, I think they said it was.
Damn.
And then all Josh Allen needed to do, because they're literally backed up on their own goal line, he needed to move forward a yard, pretty much. Mishandled the snap. Defensive lineman jumped on it. It was a touchdown for the Vikings. 30-27 it was at the time. But that really didn't seem to, I mean, it was a crazy play that happened. I didn't think I'd ever see something like that. But then the Bills went right down the field. They had 41 seconds to go down the field, and they did. Kick the field goal. We're going to overtime.
Yep.
And similar to that playoff game against Kansas City, the other team got the ball first. Went down the field, kicked the field goal. They couldn't score. There was a pass interference call, I think, at the 2-yard line. Vikings went backwards, and they had to kick a field goal. Then the Bills were just driving down the field like it was nothing. Then they got inside the 20. Allen threw it to Patrick Peterson at the goal line.
Yeah, it was really upsetting to watch, and he's had quite a few interceptions lately, and I don't know, because like he went so many games with none, and I don't know, I think it's something, after the bye week, something I think mentally changed with people, like the Bills team, somehow.
Humbling
some
loss,
way.
I want to say. Like,
Yeah.
if you can think of like a positive out of this and the way that Josh Allen's been playing, I think it's just humbling.
Yeah.
I don't know if Allen was still, I think he's still hurt.
I think he's still probably hurting.
But he was still slinging
but
the
he
ball
was-
down the field, though.
Right, yeah.
Looking good.
There was there are a couple like concerning sacks and hits there that were like, oh, that's not good. But I think he seems to be okay. He's just you never want a quarterback with any injuries, let alone like obviously throwing arm, elbow.
The elbow,
registry.
yeah.
So
And the thing about it is listening to that post game on WGR, listening to the fans call in and say that it's all on coaching, all like the boomers that call into that show. It's all on coaching. How can you coach a player not to fumble at his own goal line?
I don't know.
I mean, maybe play
don't know.
calling.
I think it
Throwing
might
it in
have
the
been play
middle of the-
calling.
middle of the
not-
field.
It wasn't always the best throughout the game.
Yeah.
That's what I would say.
But
not
Josh
so much
Allen,
coaching.
like 3 red zone picks in the last 2 games.
Yeah.
Something's got to change there, I think.
Yeah,
if I'm
it's-
being completely honest. Brock, you're wearing the Bills beanie right now. We're the Beanie Bros. What'd you think about the Bills game?
I mean, it was exciting. Unlike Sarah over here, I got a glimpse of the final half of it. And, well, obviously, as a sports fan myself and a Bills fan, I was extremely mad. I'm going to be honest with you. I went on, as any normal person go, on Twitter and on like Yik Yak and all that such, and just voice my frustrations and all that.
I would know a thing or two about
Yeah,
stuff like that.
Yeah, not always the best decision, but people do it anyway.
Well,
I still do it.
Yeah, people will do it. And I actually caught one tweet, and I gave that to you, Trevor, being just being about the Bills and all that such. And we got a little glimpse of a Dolphins fan, I say so myself.
Who was he?
It's this random guy called Daniel Tosh of Tosh 2.0. Or
Tosh.0.
Tosh.0, yeah. And he was talking about how the Bills fans are keeping on making excuses and the Dolphins are keeping on winning.
He's a big Dolphins fan, by the way.
Yeah,
Daniel Tosh is a huge Dolphins
fan. Yeah, you want to know?
This isn't no Dolphins household here.
Yeah, we usually squish those fish. So,
Yeah.
Dan, if you're watching this, go back to writing crappy comedy and we'll keep on going. So,
Brock with the takedown.
The takedown.
Wow, yeah.
Knockout.
that had to be game of the year. If that's a Super Bowl preview, sign me up right now.
Yes.
No, seriously.
I'd definitely love to see that.
Except not the way it ended.
Well, no, but you got the Vikings who have never won a Super Bowl going up against the
Right.
Bills who have never won a Super Bowl. I'd pay money to watch that game.
Absolutely. I would save up right now, like save all my paychecks from here to the end of the year and try to get to that game.
Oh, yeah.
Wouldn't happen, probably, but
Yeah,
it'd be awesome.
yes.
but it would be great. Going into this next game, Indianapolis and Las Vegas. Jeff Sunday. I'm not even gonna call him Jeff Saturday because it's more like Jeff Sunday.
Okay.
Fresh out of
true.
high school, coaching. He's not a high school kid. He's like 40-something years old. Fresh out of high school coaching.
And he's doing well with it.
He's doing great.
Yeah, looking
Gets
good.
his first win in his first game. He has the same amount of wins as Urban Meyer does from the Jaguars in one game. All it took him was one game against a Raiders team. Before I get into Jeff Saturday, a team that the Raiders are, like, you look at that roster. Derek Carr, and you have Devontae Adams, Max Crosby, Josh Jacobs, and you have Hunter Renfrow and Darren Waller, Foster Moreau, who did catch a touchdown. How are they 2-7? Other than
that's
the
a
obvious
mystery.
answer of Josh McJudas, McDaniels, whatever you want to call him.
Yeah, that's the question because you listed how many of
6
good
or 7?
players right there?
Yeah.
You'd think that they would have a little bit more than 2 wins throughout this entire season. I mean, we're in week 10. We're moving to week 11 now. So you'd think they have a little bit more, but
They're playing.
they don't.
They're playing right there on the strip too, so they pretty much gambled their season away.
Yeah.
Oh,
What do you think about that?
There you go. That was a good one.
Using Josh McDaniels as your head coach. That's the biggest gamble I've ever seen.
I'm telling you.
But you got to give credit where credit is due because Jeff Saturday. You look at what happened. Remember, this wasn't ever live, but you said on the show that was supposed to be live that the coaching change was a huge part of this, and I definitely agree with that. With Frank Reich, you're not giving Taylor the ball 22 times. You have Parks Frazier, who's the new offensive coordinator, Jeff Saturday, the new head coach. Guess what happens? Taylor gets 22 touches, breaks a 66-yard touchdown,
147 yards.
147 scrimmage yards, and the Colts win 25-20. Jeff Saturday is one game in, and he's already smarter than Glasses was before Frank Reich, who did sell his house. Not him. He's probably smarter than Frank Reich.
I am. I'm way smarter than that guy.
But yeah, 25-20, his first game. He's 1-0. He's got the Eagles next week, though, so he's got his work cut out for him.
That's the not. We'll talk about it later. The not undefeated Eagles
Not
anymore.
undefeated Eagles anymore. And then I just want to say before we go to the next game, starting Matt Ryan. We were told by the owner, Jim Irsay, that Sam Ehlinger would get the start the rest of the season. Jeff Saturday comes in here and says, no, I want to win. Matt Ryan, you're in.
Yeah.
And that's a move that Frank Reich would never make, a move that the past coach, Chuck Pagano, would never make. Jeff Saturday might not have the coaching experience, and you might have these idiots like Bill Cowher and Joe Thomas on TV criticizing him, basically laughing at him and making fun of him.
Yeah.
That he's 1-0 as a head coach. I
Right.
don't think Bill Cowher was ever 1-0 as a head coach. He didn't win his first game. Joe Thomas saying that he's not qualified. If you go back to the Pat McAfee show, Joe Thomas said that he wants to be the next head coach of the Browns. He didn't have any experience either.
Yeah.
So
Hey, I mean,
Keep
now
hating on Jeff, S-A-T-U-R-D-A-Y, Bay City Roller, Jeff Saturday.
Yeah, look at this game. That's all you need to just look at the numbers.
The numbers
That's all
don't
you need.
lie.
The numbers don't lie.
I'll worry about Philly on Sunday, but I'm going to enjoy this the whole week because of my boy, Jeff. 63, Jeff Saturday, All-Pro Center. We can go to the next game, Denver and Tennessee. Broncos country, not so much.
Yeah,
They lost 17-10 to
I'm telling you this much, Russell, you did this to yourself. We're just gonna say a little bit of a Broncos country. What's right to the dumpsters? Because just look at this game, man. Just I'm looking up the score right now. It's just embarrassing, bro, man.
17-10. It was embarrassing for both sides.
It was.
Ryan Tannehill looked bad.
Bad.
Russell Wilson looked horrid. I think his career in the NFL is on the decline now.
Very much
He's not going to have a
so.
Tom Brady, Peyton Manning legacy where he can play until he's 40 years old or
Yeah.
higher. He's 33 years old now. He's playing for a team that has a good receiving core, a solid running game, a solid offensive line. There's no excuse to be this bad.
Right, exactly.
No excuse.
Losing record like that for a quarterback who has a Super Bowl under his belt, and you'd think would play a little bit better than this, but I guess it's just not the case sometimes. So
Tennessee,
definitely going downhill.
You know what? Give them credit. They beat a Broncos team, not scoring a lot of points, sort of like how the Colts did, scoring not a lot of points against the Broncos. They still won. But we could go to the next game, Kansas City and Jacksonville. Congratulations, Patrick Mahomes. You beat an AFC South team. They beat the Jacksonville Jaguars. What did you write down in the script?
I'm telling you again, man. These Jaguars are just not even going at it at this game, man. Like they're back at it again, but these Jaguars are just not going for it.
Why are they the Jaguars if they didn't win, though?
Well, I just did just for comedy.
Just for comedy?
Just for comedy.
Kind of like Tosh.0 over there?
Yeah, just for comedy and just for like that team. I'm telling you.
Just like the team. Yeah, I can agree, but I have no leg to stand on when my team hasn't won in Jacksonville since 2014. But
Yeah,
that's when
fair.
they truly are the Waxaville W's. So Kansas City did win 27-17. Miami and Cleveland. The fish were not stale this week.
Yeah,
They were not rotting. They were not spoiled. The Dolphins, they took the #1 spot in the AFC East, followed by the New York Jets in second. Did you guys know that?
Yes, unfortunately, I did.
So I
mean, there's still plenty of games. There's 7 games left, and you know, it's still too early to be like, oh, these are going to be the teams at the top. You know, the Bills, the Jets, and the Bills and the Dolphins are
knows
going to
how
be.
long the
Who
Jets can
knows?
stay there.
Who knows how long the Jets can stay there? I mean, good. I have to give props to the Jets, unfortunately, because who would ever think they'd be at this point right now?
Jets.
Jets.
That's right.
But, and as, you know, obviously as a Bills fan, it's unfortunate to see, but I think that we've learned and we'll be able to beat because we have to play them again, both teams.
Probably
So I
since
think
the
we can
first
beat them.
time since Marino, though, where the Dolphins ever at the top of the division.
Right.
So, I mean, because Tom Brady was there after Marino was gone, and that was when the Bills were really, like, trying to figure out who their next quarterback was, wearing those dark blue jerseys with red helmets. It was just not fun back then. But, yeah, Miami at the top of the division, Pittsburgh defeating the Saints 20-10, and the Niners, the Gold Boys, taking down the boltless Chargers 22-16 on Sunday Night Football.
They're terrible.
Wow.
Not very good. But guys, thanks for coming on. Sarah, you're actually going to stay with me here. We're going to cover some of the NFC games from Week 10 when we return.
Did you know dragging chains can spark a wildfire?
Only you can prevent wildfires.
When I was in foster care, I never knew when I would have to move, so I always had my suitcase ready to go. Then one day, I was adopted. My new parents opened their hearts and home to me. My parents cook my favorite breakfast for me every morning. My parents take me on trips I never thought I would go on. They gave me a home and an even better reason to use that suitcase. My parents aren't perfect, but they're perfect for me.
On there for a second.
No, 'cause obviously the screen's not on, so I can't use that as a reference.
But you should, never mind.
Because you know what? The screen is off.
Screen's
What's
off.
up with that?
What is up with that? I don't know. Fix it.
But we already did the AFC games from Week 10. So now we can cover some NFC games. And let's start this one off with a great game, or crazy game that happened last night.
Yes.
Philadelphia Eagles, Washington Commanders. What in the world?
I'm sorry. What?
Washington has won 3 games in a row.
Yeah.
Taylor Heineke is Captain Clutch, apparently.
I guess.
And they beat the undefeated Eagles 32-21.
I mean, this is like, it's weird because I feel like this is the one team. I feel like this happens every year with someone. This is the one team that you're like, no, they're not gonna. There's no way that the Washington Commanders are gonna beat the undefeated Eagles, and yet, if it were to happen that way, it were to happen that way. You know, if there was a team to make them undefeated, it would be a team like the Washington Commanders.
Or like a Cleveland Brown type of team.
Cleveland Brown type of team.
Yeah, 100%. But you got to give credit because Washington's trying to make this division competitive. They're trying to make a wild card spot. Washington's looking okay right now. They're right at 5-5, and Philly is now 8-1. There are no more undefeated teams.
No more undefeated.
So still remaining, the only undefeated team in NFL history to go 19-0 is the 72 Dolphins, and I don't think that will ever be broken in a long time, at least in my lifetime. Maybe it could happen next year since I just put that out in the universe.
It's possible.
Washington with a big win. Green Bay and Dallas, another overtime game. Very, very back and forth. But if I'm being honest, Cowboys, international choking symbol should be the logo of the Dallas Cowboys. Because I don't know how, you look at Aaron Rodgers this year and you say, this guy is falling off a cliff. He comes back down 14 to force overtime, get the game-winning score. They win 31-28.
Yeah, I mean, it was cool to kind of finally see like the normal Aaron Rodgers in a way that we were used to seeing. Him being able to come back like that and the Packers actually be able to win a game this year.
I just want to win a
really
game.
Cool, right?
Yeah.
They just want to win a game, but like Dallas, I don't know what you're doing, letting that happen.
The funniest part of that game, though, was when the Fox cameras panned over to the fans sitting like where they usually do the Lambeau Leap.
Yeah.
It's this Cowboys fan with a giant foam hat pointing at the guy, at the Packer fan sitting next to him and laughing when they went up 28-14. And then they panned back to him when they lost it in overtime.
I didn't see that.
And the Green Bay
That's
fan was like
incredible.
standing up in his face.
Oh,
so,
that's so
no,
good.
It was awesome. But
Yeah,
just a back and forth game was a great game.
Yeah, and those are like some of the best games to watch. Just those really close games. There was a few this week.
When it's not your team and you can just watch the close game just to watch it.
Exactly. Like I remember some of the playoff games from last year were so close.
Oh,
like
yeah.
the Raiders. I think it was the Raiders.
I think the first couple of super wild card games went to
Exactly.
OT. Like the Bengals and Titans went to overtime.
Yeah, and they're so much fun to watch when it's like no stress for you.
Oh, yeah.
And your team, but
No,
at the end of the day, we just love watching good football.
We love football.
Football.
We love when it's close, except when it's really not our team. We love to like blow somebody out, but whatever. The Rams and the Cardinals, battle of the two backups. You had Matt Stafford out with a concussion, and you had Kyler Murray out with a hamstring injury. This game was weird, but the Cardinals came out on top 27-17. With Colt McCoy to hook him, Texas Longhorns legend at starting quarterback, and John Wolford, who? On what? Who is that?
Who?
Threw 212 yards for the Rams, but it was a battle of Wolford and Colt McCoy.
Yeah, two names I never even really thought I'd hear together.
No.
At all?
I didn't know Colt McCoy was still in the league, to be honest with you.
True.
Watching this game, because he was the Browns quarterback for a while in their rough times. But 238 yards and a touchdown pass, no interceptions. Colt McCoy looking like the dude from Austin, Texas, throwing the ball over there in the burnt orange. But for the Rams, Wolford, he threw an interception and a touchdown, 212 yards passing. I don't know if they tried some trickery with some guy named Bryce Perkins, but he was 1 for 1 with -3 yards.
Yeah.
Passing. Just a weird game.
It was a very weird game, and like it's too bad for the Rams. Like I don't know when the last time I've seen two of both the Super Bowl teams falling off so quickly and easily the next season.
Yeah, at least the Bengals are kind of figuring it out.
Figuring it out, but the Rams here are. I mean, now it doesn't help that Matt Stafford
and Cooper Kupp is having ankle surgery now. That just came out this morning.
Yeah, so they hit a heap of not the best luck after last year. So.
I would say awful luck right now, but at least they got that ring.
That's
they
true.
Got that
they
ring.
did get the ring. They did get the ring.
So that's good for them. Atlanta and Carolina. I mean, just a battle of the two teams that I really thought would be a little bit better this year. I mean, you have Baker Mayfield coming to the Carolina Panthers, and you have Marcus Mariota as the full-time starter for Atlanta, but Panthers came out on top. There were a lot of games where they were won by 10 points. Panthers won this one 25-15. You had games like 27-17 and two other games. But the Panthers, I thought they wanted to tank for the top quarterback, but it seems like they want to beat Atlanta. This happened on Thursday night.
Yeah, this was definitely one of those battles of the mediocre teams, but
division rivals.
Division rivals, though. It's like they're mediocre, but they're still the rivals. So it's still going to be an entertaining, stressful game for those fans. But it is what it is.
PJ
Walker,
third string quarterback, only needed 108 yards passing to beat Atlanta by 10 points.
That's insane. No touchdown. No throwing any touchdowns.
No interceptions. Only threw the ball 16 times and completed 10 of those passes.
Yeah.
So if you really think about it, that's 10.8 yards of play. You know what? 10.8 yards of throw. That's just fast.
That's the fast math.
That's all about the fast math right there. But, PJ Walker's a good guy. Houston Roughnecks, XFL legend. He's doing okay in Carolina. I'll give him that.
Yeah, he's doing all right.
Seattle and Tampa Bay, the first ever NFL game played in this country of Germany. And look out now, but Tom Brady has won 3 straight games with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Oh, yeah.
Didn't look very great, though.
No.
Still scored less than 27 points, which he has been doing consecutively for the last maybe 4 or 5 weeks.
Yeah.
But a win's a win, is what I've heard talking about the NFL.
Yeah, it's so true. And at the end, because when you're starting to get to this point of the season, you look at all the stats and all that, but you're trying to just win, get your winning record up, because that's the only way you're going to make it into the playoffs. And so.
Yeah, Washington and Tampa, 5-5. They're trying to make a run.
They are. And we're going to have to see what happens if Tampa Bay, if Tom Brady can figure it out and keep going. If not, I'm totally fine with it. Yeah, that too.
Yeah, get over that breakup, Tommy.
Yikes.
Sign that prenup, Giselle. One of the two. I don't know what to say.
We sound bad, but also.
You're watching a Western New York-based sports show. What do you expect?
Are you kidding? This is no Tom Brady.
You got a Colts beanie and a Bills jersey. You're supposed to expect us to say good things about Tom Brady?
No.
You had your heyday. You had your fun.
Yeah,
okay,
it's time to step aside, give someone
call
else
this guy
a chance.
Ariana Grande, right? 7 rings. Okay. he had his moment in the sun. Okay.
Yeah, time to step into the darkness. Yeah, that's fine.
Also, 2 unsung teams that could have. I mean, I said Vikings Bills could be game of the year. Detroit and Chicago could also been game of the year.
Wildly enough.
The Bears fans are punching the air because they wish they had a kicker. I'm right there with you. I know exactly what that feels like. Because Justin Fields, Ethan was talking to me off air. I believe it was Ethan. He said that his opponent in fantasy, he lost because Justin Fields scored 40 points on him, including a 64-yard QB sneak touchdown. Yeah. To take the 30-24 lead in this one, and guess what the kicker does? All that work done by Justin Fields, guess what the kicker does?
He misses.
Yep.
He misses.
And then what do the Lions do on the next drive? With not a lot of time left on the clock? They go right down the field, score a touchdown, and then take the extra point to win the game 31-30. The Bears got the ball back with less than a minute to go, but they had no timeouts. The clock just kept going. They ran out of time.
Yeah.
But Detroit, 21 points in the fourth quarter.
That's
Jared
crazy.
Goff looking like Matt Stafford.
Right.
I mean, let's be real. And then obviously this whole
crazy.
Injury plague.
Yeah.
I mean, even Amon-Ra St. Brown left the game in the third quarter with an injury, came back.
Yeah.
Caught up 10 catches for 119 yards. Khalif Raymond, 3 catches 47 yards. Tom Kennedy, I think he's the backup or third-string tight end, 1 catch for 44 yards. And Jamal Williams didn't really have a flashy day, 59 yards, but he still scored the game-winning touchdown.
Yeah, and they were able to spread it out even despite all the injuries. So that clearly was the recipe for success in this game. So.
And then when you look at the rushing yards for the Bears, Justin Fields 13 carries, 147 yards, which is 11.3 yards a carry.
Yeah.
He also threw 2 passing touchdowns. He also threw an interception. But 12 of 20, 167 yards, 2 touchdowns, 2 rushing touchdowns. He's looking like a rookie Russell Wilson, I want to say.
Yeah.
Because Wilson wouldn't really sling the ball a lot down the field as a rookie, but he would scramble for a lot of touchdowns. And he would work on his accuracy later on. I hope that's the case for Fields because they haven't had a great quarterback in a long time.
Yeah.
But
who knows? It's the Chicago Bears. Yeah, definitely. So we'll have to see if the quarterback problems will start to see better days. We'll see. Hopefully. But.
Well, we'll have to see what happens on the Bears front. I like their head coach, Matty Eberflus, a lot. We'll have to see what happens, but then you have the New York Giants and the Houston Texans. The only time, guys, a New York team could beat a Houston team. The Giants beat the Houston Texans, and I honestly think right now the Texans are going for that #1 overall pick.
I mean, clearly, you'd think so at this point. I mean, I would not want to be them. As much as like the Bills are struggling the last couple of weeks, you still look at the Texans, and here they are, 1-7. They're definitely they can't seem to figure out anything, and they're at this point just kind of throwing. Obviously, you never want to give up, but no throwing in the towel. But you just want to kind of ease your way into that first round pick.
And also, you can't overlook the Giants, 7-2 right now.
Right.
Nobody had the Giants. At the Houston Texans going 1-7-1, but this game was actually closer than I thought. 24-16. Davis Mills did throw for over 300 yards, and Daniel Jones only needed 17 pass attempts, completing 13 of those for 197 yards and 2 touchdowns. Saquon Barkley breaking open another 150-plus yard rushing game, plus a touchdown, 35 carries.
That's
gave him the ball 35
crazy.
times, 152 yards, 4.3 yards a carry.
Yeah, and you wonder why their offense is actually like looking like this right now, because you got the beast.
They're running
every down.
Run the ball, right? That's what everybody says. You know, everyone says, well, you know what? This is a passing league, whatever. This is a passing league. When you have an elite running back and you have guys like Aaron Jones in Green Bay, and you have a struggling quarterback, or Jonathan Taylor in Indy, or you have a guy like Saquon Barkley, because Daniel Jones is not the best quarterback in the game. I think we can all agree on that. When you have a guy like that, who cares? Throw the 1980 window or thing out the window, the narrative out the window.
Yeah.
You can run the ball, give it to your best player.
Exactly. If that's what's gonna work, then why mess with something that's clearly you found the formula for, and this is how you're 7-2.
If it ain't broke, don't
Fix it.
Don't, just like how Chris shouldn't fix the live stream. You know what I'm saying? But big games going into Week 11. I can't wait for the Colts playing the Eagles. It's going to be great.
That's going to be something.
Browns, it's going to be a good game. Both 1 o'clock starts, by the way.
Yep.
But Sarah, thanks for coming on.
Of course.
And in approximately 30 seconds, I think, we're going to have Ethan on to talk about some MLB, baseball, and free agency. 2 minutes, actually. We'll have Ethan on, so don't go away.
This one's for the real ballers and shot callers. The sisterhood of women in tech. They're discovering cures, building apps, and programming the blockchain. They're CEOs, worldwide hustlers who can make it rain. They're tearing down the old boys club and seeing big gains. Because when women in tech come together, you know they make that change.
Every day.
Millions of people are connecting.
And even though we're overcoming obstacles, watching each other's backs,
and banding together.
We should still make an effort.
We should still make an effort.
To get to know each other.
On a deeper level.
Father.
Cosplayer.
Mentor.
Actor.
It's time we take a step forward
It's time we take a step forward. Come together.
and discover
How accepting our differences
Can make us stronger.
Most of my family, they never graduated high school or even let alone go to college, so I'm trying to break that barrier. Every day after work, went straight to school, studied hard, and it paid off. I could not have done it alone. I see the future is really bright for me. The high school diploma is just added to the confidence, and now I feel unstoppable.
Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org.
Welcome back to Sports Hour. Ethan, MLB analyst, how's it going?
It's going great, Trev. How are you doing? Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving. Always. You see the lovely pumpkin pie here that Kellyanne made for us.
Crafty and Crochet Creations.
Awesome. You know, can't get enough of this up here. I mean, you can't have a pumpkin pie without a Cool Whip, right?
Where's the Cool Whip at? Did you say whip or whip?
Whip.
You're a whip
That's
person?
the only way you can say it if you're talking about watching Family Guy.
Of course.
Yeah.
Of course.
But free agency. We can get over the Astros win, or maybe you can. I really can't because I'm rocking the Breggy Bomb Salsa t-shirt right here.
Bregman's overrated.
Free agency.
Washed up player.
No. Free agency. Top free agency candidates right here, right now. Aaron Judge.
Big hitter.
From the Yankees.
I mean, he's coming off a historic season.
Outfielder, 62 home runs this season.
Ridiculous numbers. He's going to probably get the biggest contract in the history of the sport.
For sure. I mean, you saw Mike Trout's.
Mike Trout's deal was insane.
I think Aaron Judge is going to top that.
62 homers in a single season in the post-Juice era.
Definitely going to be definitely top vote for MVP.
Probably. I mean, it has to be.
Trey Turner, shortstop, who has turned down his player option with the Dodgers, so he'll be a free agent.
Solid utility guy, can pretty play second or short. I think he has time at third. Lots of speed, good to have on the base paths.
And probably the best slide in baseball. It just makes it look so easy.
This guy steals second like in his sleep.
Oh, yeah.
No catcher in the league, minus Adley Rutschman, I think, could throw this guy out at second base.
Yeah.
So
maybe Martin Maldonado when he's throwing the signs like this. I don't know. Jacob deGrom, pitcher, right-hander from the New York Mets. That could be definitely a big boost in somebody's rotation, I want to say.
For sure, definitely. But I worry about his age. I mean, he's still Jacob deGrom, but he also is coming off a big injury last season.
Yep.
Missed a lot of time. Didn't look as dominant as I'm talking about 2020 deGrom, who was just striking out hitters left, right, and center. Nobody could get a hit off this guy. So he's probably still going to get somewhere in the neighborhood of $180 million, probably even more. I don't think it's going to be an extended period of time, probably like a 10-year contract, maybe like a 5-year contract, but he's definitely going to get paid for sure.
And I doubt he stays in the National League. If he doesn't get re-signed by the Mets, I don't think he's staying in the National League.
Yeah, I doubt it.
I heard the rumor Texas Rangers are interested in him.
Rangers looks like they're trying to go big this season.
Yeah.
They thought they had it last year, signing players like Marcus Semien, the Blue Jays slugger.
It's not Kyle Seager. What's his name? Corey Seager.
Corey
Seager from the Dodgers. And they finished 71 wins, I want to say.
71 wins, really disappointing season. And their biggest need that season was pitching.
Yeah. Outside of Martin Perez, their starting rotation was not very good.
Yeah, so Jake deGrom would be a much-needed prophylactic there for the next season.
And Carlos Correa. Who has opted out of his option with the Minnesota Twins, or used one of his opt-outs in his contract. He is a free agent this year as well.
Forgive me if I'm wrong, but isn't Carlos Correa the batting champion this year in terms of batting average?
Carlos Correa, I believe, I think he won the Gold Glove this year. And he did hit above 300. I do not know the correct stat on if he did win the batting champion award. I do not know that for a fact, but
I thought he looked great this season.
He looked fantastic. He got paid $11.2 million this year. Was the highest paid shortstop as far as AAV is concerned. But Carlos Correa, there are some teams out there in the National League that need shortstops.
And
Chicago
they need-
Cubs, Detroit Tigers, they all need shortstops.
Tigers thought they had him Baez, but having
Yep.
Baez looked really not great this season. So maybe having him move over to second base and then having Correa play the shortstop would help things a lot. Obviously, Tigers looking to buy in as they are like near 20 of their rebuild right now.
New York Yankees can upgrade from Isaiah Kiner-Falefa if they want to. I don't know if,
If they have
want
the
to.
money, I mean,
if they want to bring a guy like Correa in, who the fans pretty much bashed for
yes,
a long
they did
time.
not like Carlos Correa.
The Dodgers fans also want Carlos Correa now. Apparently, imagine how these things turn out: throwing garbage at him, and then you want him on your team. That's kind of interesting.
Kind
But
of how sports works. You know, as soon as someone hits the free agency market, it's all.
they didn't. I mean, you want him, you hate him if he's not playing for your team, but you
you'd
love him if he's
to
on
have
your
Carlos
team.
Correa. This
Exactly.
guy is a base hit machine. Gold Glove a shortstop. This guy could fit into any team in the association.
Has a great reach for the ball when it's on the ground. He's stretching out super far to grab it.
Yeah, good arm.
It's hard to hit balls through the shortstop and third base hole when Carlos Correa is playing over there.
out there. So obviously he's going to be. I don't think he's going to get the same kind of money Judge or Turner will get. I think he'll still get paid, but I think we're going to see a smaller value, but still like. He's not a big slugger. He's not going to go out here and get you like 40 home runs a year.
No, he hits for contact. He'll get you the clutch double
He'll
and
get
extra
you
innings
the-
if you need that.
Yeah, he'll pick you up some solid base hits. OPBS will probably be in the 1,000 area.
A career WAR of a 7.5,
Which is amazing.
Very good player. But there are teams in the National League: Marlins, Tigers, Mets, maybe.
I mean, Lindor had a great season, I think.
Yeah, but teams that can look even to upgrade at that position.
That's true.
I mean, even looking
Athletics
Dodgers
have money to spend.
Athletics do have a lot of money to spend. Angels do have money to spend.
Angels could. They need. I think they need a third guy out there in Los Angeles.
Yeah, they do. I mean, they have Mike Trout, Shohei Ohtani. Imagine adding Carlos Correa to that lineup.
That would just. I mean, how much talent can you possibly have in a single team?
That would be absolutely. No, that would be insane.
It's
Especially that the
disgusting.
Astros will have to face against the Angels at least 20 times a
20
year.
times a year.
Which is crazy. But some big key players staying home. They got re-signed.
Interesting trends here. Usually you see in free agency, big names leave their teams, go get paid somebody else.
Rain chasing is what you see a lot.
But most guys are staying home. Clayton Kershaw re-ups the Dodgers on a 1-year deal. Edwin Diaz stays with the Mets, which I think is he got a big
Huge
contract
closer.
for a closer.
Yeah.
I think 135 million upwards of I saw.
Which is crazy.
Which is a big
How much
money.
he has improved his game.
Incredible.
Remember 2019, they were calling him Ed Luz Diaz?
Ed
Remember
Luz
that?
Diaz, yes. I remember Mets fans can be brutal.
Yep.
But
Rafael Montero signing 3 years with the Astros in that relief spot. He was a big clutch factor in that World Series.
huge part of the World Series.
Big clutch
win.
factor in that ALCS and that no-hitter in the World Series.
Just-
So
he
Monty's back.
He kind of spearheaded a really good bullpen, I thought, for the Stros. In the
No,
postseason.
for sure.
He
He was
was-
a great seventh inning guy,
He's
eighth inning
it's
guy.
that middle relief pitcher that can come in and get you in the 7-inning stretch when you're desperately trying to scramble. or protect
Verlander
them
throws
1 run.
6. You need a guy out there.
You need a guy. And sometimes you just need 1 inning.
Yep.
And that's all. And Montero's a great guy getting in 1 inning. They got good value for him. They locked him up for 3 years. I think that's a great signing for the Astros.
I think so too. I think they want to keep the similar team. I don't think they want to go out and spend guys like, I mean, this is on here, Anthony Rizzo. Like, do you want to keep the players that you have right now that just won the World Series? Do you want to stick with those same guys, or do you want to upgrade? Anthony Rizzo was #1 on their radar, but he re-signed with the Yankees today to a 2-year contract with a 3rd-year option. But I think if you're the Astros, you want to bring back some similar players, but upgrade in certain positions. Like, the outfield can be upgraded.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe the first base can be upgraded too, but I've been hearing rumors that they've been trying to go after Jose Abreu, who's still a free agent from the Chicago White Sox.
Always a good
Or
signing.
after Yuli Gurriel once again for a short-term contract.
See, I think Gurriel would be a great signing. I think there's not a lot of good outfield upgrades, I think, out there beyond Aaron Judge this season.
Aaron Judge is the
Aaron
top
Judge
guy
actually top
everywhere.
dog,
Yep.
#1 on the board in free agency as a whole. Also in the outfield, he can play all 3 outfield positions. But I don't really see beyond Judge many ways the Stros can get better, especially with the money they have.
They do have a lot of it, but they're not going out and
But
spending their way to another
after
title.
a World Series, when you're not going to go out there and go get the Yuli Gurriels, not going to go get the Trey Turner, the DeGroms.
Right.
You're gonna want to keep it slow. And I think this is a good start. Montero was a big part of the bullpen, and they realized that, and they realized they can get him for relatively cheap compared to what you could get it for on the open market. And I think they did a good job at keeping their guy close. And I think if they make a few more, one thing that's interesting about the shows is I saw they fired their general manager.
They did. Yep.
After a single year, I think he was disrespected by the only short-term offer he got after winning the World Series. So I think he's out.
And then it wasn't even that too. I think the owner wanted to bring in Starling Marte at the trade deadline at the center field position. He said no. He believes in Jake Myers, who struck out against a 56-mile-per-hour pitch thrown by a position player. So they won the World Series, and Jim Crane pretty much said, hey, dude, you're out. I think I've never seen that much aggressiveness, but I actually kind of like it as a fan. Like, he's not satisfied with just winning one World Series. He wants to be a dynasty.
A dynastic cycle, and I think you got to have guys that you can put faith in. And I think the Marte trade not going through is a big deal.
No, he could have done wonders in the World Series.
I mean, you can't. I mean, Starling Marte is one of those guys that just puts it on when the lights go up.
Yep.
I think that it's going to be interesting to see how their strategies in acquiring player acquisition and player retention changes. Because obviously they still like Montero, and I think this is a good sign, a good first start, good open look. But how aggressive they are in free agency after their World Series win, usually you see teams win a championship and then they get passive.
Yeah.
They re-sign their guys and they think we won this World Series once. We don't got to do anything else. This roster can win the World Series. We've seen it.
But the Verlander rumors, though. We've been seeing Dodger interest in Justin Verlander. They'd have to pay a big money because he opted out of his $10 extra million if he signed with the Astros this year. Also rumors on the other side, Michael Brantley. We don't know where he's going to go. You still have some major free agents out there, like Mike Zunino, catcher. You have Josh Bell on the open market.
Josh Bell should get
Brandon Belt, who is 35 years old. I kind of think he might retire, but he's still a free agent. Gene Segura from the Philadelphia Phillies at second base. Trey Turner, obviously. Xander Bogaerts. I've seen Phillies interest in Xander Bogaerts going into this year. Same with Dansby Swanson with the Braves. They're all free agents.
All these guys are on the open market, so you got to hope the Stros get one of these guys. It'll be a team to watch as the free agency continues to progress.
And it's going to be interesting to see, too, some of these National League teams like Miami, that teams that need shortstops, they could go after a Trey Turner, Correa, Bogaerts, Swanson. I mean, somebody like even Escobar or Iglesias from the Angels.
And you're going to want to see teams like, even over in the AL, teams that feel like they're one or two pieces away, like the
Angels.
Like the Angels, like the Toronto Blue Jays. Who are they going to target? Where are their priorities in the offseason?
100%. Ashley, you're not going to go anywhere right now, but in approximately a minute, he's going to stay right here to talk some NBA basketball when we return. Sweet.
Did you know dragging chains can spark a wildfire?
Only you can prevent wildfires.
When I was in foster care, I never knew when I would have to move. So I always had my suitcase ready to go. Then one day I was adopted. My new parents opened their hearts and home to me. My parents cook my favorite breakfast for me every morning. My parents take me on trips I never thought I would go on. They gave me a home and an even better reason to use that suitcase. My parents aren't perfect, but they're perfect for me.
Well, welcome back into our NBA segment.
Long time no see, Trevor.
Long time no see. It's been 60 entire seconds. Actually, a lifetime.
Eons have passed.
But only 5 games going on tonight. Very, very quiet night in the NBA.
Quiet night in the association.
But you know what? I'm already looking at an upset right now. Grizzlies upset by the Pels, 113-102.
I believe these two teams are pretty evenly matched on paper. I mean, you got the top dogs in their draft class. Obviously, Zion went first. Ja Morant went second. These two players are kind of been compared as like the future of the league. And that showed on tonight. Obviously, Ja Morant continues to dazzle with his highlight plays. He had his monster steal and then fast break dunk, which I thought was amazing.
He is the franchise.
He is absolutely
Ja Morant
insane.
is the franchise for the Memphis Grizzlies.
The future of I think he's the future of the league.
No, yeah, future of basketball.
He's just an incredible player out there. And you know, it's just dazzling from Ja Morant, 36 points, 8 rebounds, and 4 assists on the night.
Unreal.
Steven Adams only got 13 minutes. I understand that the coaches out there in Memphis want sort of a small ball lineup. So it's interesting to see how that is. But I think a big night from C.J. McCollum, who I think has gone through a little bit of a mini renaissance since being traded to the Pelicans. He was looking like he's always been second fiddle out there in Portland with the Damian Lillard and all of them. But to see him come out here in New Orleans and really lead a team of otherwise young players, I mean, I think the second young...
One of the youngest teams in the league.
Yeah, I mean, you got Herb Jones, who's 21, Brandon Ingram, who's 22, Zion, who's 20, Jose Alvarado is 23. All these players are relatively improved. So when you have a guy like McCollum in the locker room, some 30-year-old vet who's been around for a while, who's seen all you can see in the league, it's beneficial. I think it's proving dividends. This trade has over in New Orleans.
100%. And you mentioned a guy like Larry Nance Jr., 19 points on the night. Brandon Ingram, 19 points. C.J. McCollum, yeah, like you said, he's just been breaking out in that Western Conference. Did just enough to beat the Memphis Grizzlies. It was actually more evenly matched than I thought it was. Mm-hmm. I still would have thought the Memphis Grizzlies would take them on top there. But 113-102. Some live scores right now. Game at halftime, the New York Knicks are up 61-58 on the Utah Jazz.
How about those Utah Jazz?
How about them Utah Jazz?
They just continue to prove me wrong. Yep. Every week I come on Sports Hour and I'm like...
You say one thing and they do another.
The Utah Jazz are frauds. Well, this week I lie. I'm changing course and watch them go 0-4 over the course of the Thanksgiving break. But the Utah Jazz are playing some pretty good basketball. They're 10-5 on the season. They're still undefeated at home. And they're getting buckets, some dudes I don't think would get buckets. Lowry Markkanen showing promise.
And some players coming off the bench making shots.
Everyone is dropping shots on this team.
Yeah.
I think the Jazz and the Pelicans have a lot in common. Most are relatively young with one or two veterans leading the way. And also the offense comes from everywhere. And by the way, I'm just checking the live score here. The Knicks had a 38-point second quarter.
That's crazy.
Which is a monster second quarter. But
38-31, very high scoring second quarter for both teams.
Just the NBA continues to be up tempo. Kelly Olynyk has 15 points on the night. Kelly Olynyk, who thought Kelly Olynyk was going to score buckets? This man looking like...
And 5 rebounds, 14 minutes played.
This guy has a game winner this year. Kelly Olynyk is that guy, and I think the Jazz will win the title.
He is Himothy, as they say.
He's
Himothy.
Mike
Lowry
Conley
Markkanen
Jr. 5.
Obviously, Mike Conley, 5 points. Clarkson, 7 points. Vanderbilt, 2 points. This team is just spread. I mean, the depth on the Utah Jazz right now, it's probably going to come back to bite me too. Mm-hmm. That fact that we just jinxed this team nonstop.
Yeah,
but they are 10-5. They are losing right now. So I don't know, but you can't argue with the fact that they do have a lot of depth on this team.
One interesting trend I've seen developed from the NBA this season is teams with 1 or 2 star players that can go out and get you 30 a night have been very hit or miss this season. I think the only 2 teams that are doing it right are the Bucks and the Celtics. They're both top of the Eastern Conference. Looking really solid this season.
Running 1-2, yep.
1 and 2, but other teams where you thought they'd just come in and dominate with 1 or 2 star players, like the Chicago Bulls with DeMar DeRozan and Zach LaVine, they're 6-8.
Yep.
Like the Brooklyn Nets, who are Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving, they're 6-8. Other teams out in the Western Conference that are struggling with 1 or 2 star players, the Warriors are 6-8, the Timberwolves are 6-8, the Thunder are 6-8, the Lakers are 3-10.
Yeah.
And these are all teams where the standard model of a winning NBA franchise has always been you get one guy, surround him with okay players, and he'll win you a championship.
Yeah, just build your team around 1 to 2 stars.
Yes, right. Or a big 3 is a typical thing.
Big 3.
What we're seeing right now is there are no big 3s in the NBA that are dominating, besides maybe the Bucks and the Celtics.
You're seeing some of the underdogs.
You're seeing teams that are consistently built throughout the rotation.
Yeah.
Guys who you don't got to have one guy go out and get you 45 to win.
Building teams through the draft.
You just need 6 players to get you 20.
Exactly.
And that's like the Jazz, like the Nuggets, like the blazers, like the Grizzlies, like the Mavericks. The
Portland Trailblazers.
The Portland Trailblazers.
I mean, let's be real.
Are first in the West. Like the Raptors. The Raptors have been doing it for decades. I mean, you can obviously go to that championship winning team in 2019 and say Kawhi Leonard won them that ring.
Or, from what I've heard from a lot of people, is that the Warriors were hurt.
The Warriors were hurt. Yes. Always seems to happen.
Yep.
However, that team, Kawhi Leonard played 19 games in the regular season. That team won 53.
Yeah.
That team had plenty of depth. That could go to any player on the court at any time, and you could trust that guy to get you a point.
Yep.
And you can't say that for a lot of these teams that are struggling. The Brooklyn Nets obviously have turned it around.
They have.
I'll give them
For the most part,
their flowers. They fired Steve Nash, they suspended Kyrie, and they haven't lost a game since. So they have been playing good basketball.
They're actually down 26-16 as we speak to Sacramento, but obviously the game of basketball, that can change at any time.
It's a game of runs.
It is a game of runs, and Sacramento has been disappointing for a long, long, long time.
Yeah, Sacramento is the current team with the longest playoff drought in the association.
Yep.
De'Aaron Fox, obviously, still nothing really keeping them in relevancy, in my opinion. That they had that DeMontis Sabonis trade at the trade deadline last season that I think is going to go down as one of the worst trades in NBA history. Sabonis has looked exceedingly lackluster since going to Sacramento.
100%.
His three-point shooting is way down than when it was in Indiana, and it's very clear to me that he cannot produce at the first guy level when teams game plan around Sabonis. It's hard for him to produce at a high level. However, the player that was traded for him, Tyrese Halliburton, has been dominating in Indiana, having a monster season, averaging 25 and 5, which for a second-year player is just seemingly unheard of.
Yeah, well, if only the Kings can go back to the days of Chris Webber and Mike Bibby, like days like that where they went so close to the finals. They really haven't seen anything since 2002.
2002 is pretty much, I think that's the last year they made the playoffs.
And they lost to that Kobe Bryant-led Lakers team that nobody was beating.
Yeah,
nobody was stepping in that way.
Yeah,
but yeah, they're up on the Nets right now, 28-18. Mavericks and Clippers, 69-65. End of the third. Mavericks are a fun team to watch.
The Mavericks are a very fun team to watch. Luka Doncic is very fun to watch.
Oh, he's great.
This kid,
Kristaps Porzingis, definitely a
not
meme
a player on the
on his own
Mavericks
account.
anymore.
Oh, he's not. Yeah, yeah.
He plays for the Wizards.
Plays for the. Keep forgetting he plays for the Wizards now, but
everyone forgets about that.
I said it for the memes, guys. Okay, like Kristaps Porzingis is one of everyone's favorite players.
That is very true.
Yeah.
He got booed on draft night.
Yeah.
However, Luka Magic is living up to the title. This guy is getting out there playing out of his mind. Offensive production is off the charts, man. This guy is completely unguardable. I'm just gonna look down on the stats here to see how many points he has. Yeah, 30 points for the first three quarters. Jesus, I cannot talk. 8 rebounds and 4 assists. This guy's a triple-double waiting to happen every night. Teams absolutely cannot stop this guy. What's worrying though is this is the same Mavericks team we've seen for 3 years.
Mm-hmm.
Luka goes out, gets 50 a night. They win 46 games in the season and lose in the playoffs.
Yep. Usually first or second round, right?
Yeah, I mean, they made it since past the second round in a couple of years since the Dirk days. What's good to see, though, is Christian Wood, a guy that went out and signed this in free agency, is getting him 14 off the bench. Obviously, there was some little worrisome. We talked about this in the very beginning of the semester.
Yep.
That there were some worries there, but he's been thriving in a 6-man role and getting him the 14 off the bench, and he seems to have accepted that that's his role in the offense. Dorian Finney-Smith has 15, which I think he's been one of those players that reminds me a lot of like a Tony Snell or like a Wesley Matthews. You know, guys you don't really think about ever, but go out and get you solid points in production every night.
Yeah, 100%. And then when you look at the last game that's actually live right now, just got underway, 20-12, San Antonio Spurs over the Portland Trailblazers right now. But at one point the game was 16-4, and the Blazers are making this a game just because they are 9-4. One of the best stories in the NBA right now, talking about building a team through the farm system, building a team through the draft. The Portland Trailblazers are such a fun team to watch.
Yeah, they're just awesome because they have Damian Lillard, they have that star power. They have Jusuf Nurkic, who's been a guy for a while. They also went and got Jeremy Grant, who I was really high on in free agency. They got him for a steal, a bargain price. I think it was like a second-round pick, and that's like selling him for a bag of chips in the NBA. However, what I've realized with the San Antonio Spurs is Greg Popovich can make any team in history look competitive.
Yep. Nobody had him at 6-8 right now.
I had them at 0. What is that?
I was about to say people had him below the Houston Rockets.
I had them 0-14 at this point in the season. This roster should not win basketball games.
No.
But I've come to terms with the fact Greg Popovich refuses to lose.
You know what? I think that's a great quality in a coach to have. Maybe some team in football should look into a guy like Greg Popovich for next season, right? What do you think?
Jeff Saturday.
Jeff Saturday and Greg Popovich, 1-2.
Coach of the year.
Let's go. All right. Thanks for coming on, man, for back-to-back segments. Always appreciate it. We're going to have Brent on in approximately a minute to talk about the absolutely fantastic team, professional hockey team that plays over there at Seymour Knox, Plaza over there in Buffalo. So don't go away. It's going to be a good segment.
When you think of the local lowdown, what do you think of? Well, when I think of the local lowdown, it's the live music that we have played in the studio.
It's got to be the laughs we shared. The memorable moments during the whole thing. Oh my God, so fun.
The local lowdown for me is the people behind the scenes, the amazing team that we have making the show.
Oh, it's gotta be exploring all sorts of genres and music I've never heard before.
Oh, easy. Going out to shows and talking to artists and getting the latest news on what they have planned for the future.
It's about these artists, man. Giving them a platform to showcase what they've worked so hard on and show their music to the community. It's all about supporting the local scene of music to keep it running for years to come. And of course, the band merch. You can't forget about the merch.
Guess who the Sabres lost to tonight, Brent? Why are you wearing the glasses, by the way? What's up with that?
Well, you see, Trev, this team we talk about every week. Donnie Meatballs, these things, not working well. Whatever's going on in here, not working well.
The lights are off.
I'm going this whole, my hair's all messy. I don't care.
Don't even wear that
Sabres, you've made me do it. You've made me depressed. You've made me sick. You've made me question myself
We got
a
a
million
monologue in
times.
here, bro. Come on, man.
What is...
You got a monologue in now. That's like what is going on? 5-4. What's the score?
6-game losing streak.
6-game losing streak.
6-game losing streak.
It really shouldn't be this funny. But 7-9-0 after starting off 7-3-0. You even believe this?
It's almost hard to believe.
I can't even believe. You know what? You know what happened tonight? Do you want to know who scored for the Vancouver Canucks and tallied 2 assists? Someone who we should have gone after in free agency or the trade deadline? Bo Horvat. 1 goal, 2 assists. What about Thomas Vanek on the Instigators, or what's their show now? After the Whistle. Said, I would be interested in Bo Horvat if the Sabres got Bo Horvat on their team.
And you know what he scored on? The power play.
He scored on the power play.
And you know what's horrible for us? The power play. So if we had him, he'd probably score some power play goals.
He probably scored goals. Even 5-on-5. Let's be real.
Or 5-on-3. Might as well.
No, we never get the 2-man advantage.
Yeah, you're right. We never do.
Happens.
Never do.
Never happens. But 8 shots on goal for Bo Horvat tonight.
That's insane. I mean, I was watching the game earlier before, coming to Sports Hour, right on time like I do every single week. And honestly, it's just I don't even know what is going on. I can't even tell. It's tough. I think it's something with our lines because right now we have literally one line: Tage, Tuck, Skinner. That's our whole team.
That's it.
That's literally our whole team. Nobody else can do anything.
You know what? You got to give them credit because Jeff Skinner scored 2 goals tonight.
And I got him on my fantasy
Got
team.
him on his fantasy team, and I was bashing him. I was like, $9 million to do what? Well, he scored 2 goals, got 2 points. I obviously got to give Hagen Tuck a huge shout out. 1 goal, 2 assists. That's 3 points and 3 shots on goal. I was bashing him pretty good last night too. Casey Middleton.
Casey Middleton
scored a goal of the night. How about that? Didn't win the game, but whatever. Owen Power got an assist. You have a bunch of guys on this roster.
Which was a great assist, by the way.
Great assist. You have a bunch of guys on this team that can get you assists, but Tage Thompson is like your number 1 goal scorer. And I said before,
Tage Thompson is the Josh Allen of Buffalo Sabres.
Yeah.
Literally.
That doesn't throw interceptions to Patrick Peterson.
Yeah.
At the goal line.
Yeah, that was.
I mean, let's be real. 6-game losing streak, though. There's not a lot of positive things to say. I mean, You want to just start bashing players real quick? You just want to start bashing
I mean,
players
if you want to, we could just bash. Do you want to talk about the Vegas game?
Yeah, we could.
Since that happened after last sports
talk
hour.
about the
Vegas game. You came to my house. We watched it
the
together.
game. We watched it together, and we saw a certain somebody score a hat trick.
And actually, honestly, towards the end of the game, me and Trevor both started saying, you know what, at this point, I hope he does get it.
Yeah,
I hope he does, because like we are horrible. Like what's going on? We were down. We were down by 2, 3.
We gave up a goal early, 1-0, and then we were down 2, I think, at that point. And then Michael scored the first goal of the night to go up 3, to go up 5-2.
Yeah,
He scored a hat trick in 13 minutes. The last 13 minutes of the third period.
And despite in the first period, Eric Comrie stopping him on 2 B-ways, giving us faith, hope that maybe Eichel just will go another game, another year of not scoring against the Sabres. Nope.
Scored 3.
All it took was one rebound backdoor and a wide open net, because apparently that's all he can score.
And then do you know what Eichel said on his way out? He said, "Thank you for keeping your arena clean." That's what he said.
That is what he said.
And he's probably playing 2K7 in the opposing locker room.
Yeah, probably on the plane back to Vegas, going to get some supplies of, Eichel things, and going to the casinos and getting all happy because he beat the Buffalo Sabres, his old team. And
that win put him at 8 wins in a row.
Yep.
I don't know if that's still going on right now. I'd probably say no.
I think they played oh no, they're playing right now against the San Jose Sharks.
Imagine having a team that can win 8 games is crazy, but imagine just having the Sabres win 3 games in a row. You know how great that would feel? I mean, it felt great.
You remember when we won 11?
We beat Detroit 8-3 to put us up in a 3-game win streak, and then that was our second game.
And then we beat
we beat the Penguins. We haven't won a hockey game in 2 freaking weeks. What is going on, dude?
2 weeks.
All right, no, we just gotta start bashing players now.
Yeah,
and bashing
at this
GMs.
point.
Kevin Adams.
Kevin Adams, figure it out. You
Figure it
suck.
out. Okay.
Donnie Meatballs, you can't do nothing apparently.
You can't. Jacob Bryson, pile on, loser. Zemgus Girgensons, overweight and slow.
Why do you have an A on your jersey?
Why do you have an A on your jersey? You're overweight and slow. I mean, you stink.
Craig
Anderson playing freaking dodgeball in the net tonight.
You're 41.
Obviously.
I mean, you're getting old. Come on. Eric Comrie, you're not doing anything either. You're what, 30-something, coming from Winnipeg?
And you turn into Somchak and Delpos all of a sudden.
Yeah, we're not in Vancouver, buddy. We're in Buffalo.
No, Vancouver showed up tonight.
Vancouver did show up tonight.
And you know what? They turned our lights on. What up with that?
They came in, turned them on.
They turned them on. Then they put the Sabres on notice. They're exposed of how their true colors are out.
Oh, they're so out. They're so out. Honestly, at
the
this
biggest
point,
pretenders after that Penguins game, obviously.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. How do you beat the Penguins? How do you beat Detroit and the Penguins by? Oh my God!
But then you lose to Carolina, you lose to Tampa Bay, you lose to the Coyotes. We're a week anniversary of that game, by the way, losing to the Robos, and then you lose to Vegas. And then you lose to...
And do you know who our next game is against?
I can't even imagine. The Ottawa Senators.
The Senators.
And we're also going to lose on the road in Ottawa to Ryan Reynolds' hockey team. This is a joke.
And slowly but surely falling
Can't even
falling
believe
in
this.
the ranks.
Are we even falling?
heavily.
Are we not at rock bottom yet? Or?
No, we're getting there. We're close. we're getting very, very close.
Who are we tanking for this year, guys? I remember tank for McDavid, tank for Reinhart. I remember tank for Ekblad.
Maybe Bernard.
Delpos?
Take him for Delpos. Maybe Sobchak. Maybe. Honestly, we need Devin Levi. Or one of those goal, like...
Dude, we've been saying we need a goalie for 4 damn seasons. What is going on?
It's literally like
remember when they traded for Robin Leonard, who was like addicted to popping happy pills before every game?
Oh yeah, and now he's
remember
on the Bruins and he's like being like a really good goalie and didn't do that at all.
He got over his addiction. So you know what? Good for you, Robin Leonard, but you were absolutely garbage in Buffalo.
So
We're still
garbage.
on like how many players do you want to bash right now?
I think we've ran through. I mean, pretty much everyone. The only players I can't really
bash any Vancouver players, so they
no,
came
I can't. The only players we can't bash on the Sabres are Tage, Tuck, and Skinner. Because that's really. And honestly, I won't bash OP either because rookie got an assist tonight. Did something good.
Yeah.
OPP.
Yeah,
And,
you know.
But you know what? On the bright side, My boy Ovi, still going for that scoring streak.
No, he is, and he will get there.
He's
He's
will
going
get
to get
there
there.
eventually.
Trade him to the Sabres, and he won't ever get there. How does that sound?
He'll never get. Oh.
All right. Well, Brent, I think it's time to go over credits because guess what? You know what? I just had to go on a tangent here. This has been an ongoing trend, like the Sabres for 2 straight weeks.
Yeah.
The screen's not working.
No.
The
trend
credits
has been that the credits aren't working, but today the screen isn't working. We can't even see
I can't even
ourselves.
see myself right now. Talk about a joke.
Talk about a joke.
In the words of Lindy Ruff, it's nothing but a joke. Okay?
It's nothing but an unpaid job.
So let's see if they actually spelled everything right this week in the chat or in our script here. We'll see.
We'll see.
They're not writing anything down. They're not telling me anything. So
I guess we're just gonna keep going. We can go into some games. Florida beat Washington tonight 5-2. It's good for me because I have Sergey on my fantasy team.
You know what? That's good. We love good fantasy teams.
We love good fantasy. We love the fantasy points. But
the Sabres are so bad. We have to root for one team, and that's the fantasy team. Well, you can root for the 2K7 Sabres, obviously.
Oh yeah, no, that Sabres is.
You can always root for the announcer.
Oh yeah.
If you're in a pinch and you want something to make you laugh after a bad Sabres loss, just play NHL 2K7 with the disc scratched.
And you'll have a
on the dock.
8 times.
What does that even mean?
On the dock. What's on the dock?
What is on the dock?
What's on the dock?
They're talking about the names. Okay.
The names?
Well, I was checking before he was talking about his fantasy team if they've spelled everything right. So that looks like
apparently they did. Maybe. I don't know.
Who's the host?
Who's
they
the
didn't
host?
write that down. Oh, wait, yes, they did. I don't know who that is, though.
Who's
the host?
I think it was a guy named Brock.
I think it was a guy named Brent. Could have been Brent.
Brent?
No, I think it was
Topher.
Delpos.
Delpos, yeah, it was Delpos. Yeah.
Okay.
Maybe Sobchak.
Maybe the announcer.
Maybe Drew Chris.
Maybe Daniel.
Number 4805.
The host of the show, they're like wagging their. What does that mean? What does this mean? Okay. Man, we only went over by
Where's my
6
bone,
minutes.
dude? I got a bone to pick, bro. Come on. What's going on? All right, we're going to get to the credits, guys.
It's just too funny how bad we are as a hockey team. It's unbelievable.
We haven't won a game in 2 weeks.
I'm your host, Trevor Hauer. Analysts Sarah Gordon, Brock Papke, Ethan Smith, and Brent Cassillo. Executive producers Sarah Gordon, director Katie Lee, and Sarah Gordon. If this computer will let me scroll down to the document. Oh my goodness gracious.
We got to pull up Dreamweaver.
What's Elizabeth's last name? How do you pronounce it? Elizabeth?
What do you mean?
How do you pronounce your last name?
We're still
okay, stage manager Kellyanne Hender. I remembered you this week. Mike Tibitetto as the audio. Graphics. Topher's not here.
Topher's not even
Wait a minute.
here.
What's your last name? How do you pronounce it? Weigline. Elizabeth Weigline. Technical director, doing a great job, by the way. Thank you so much. I didn't want to butcher your name on camera, by the way. Topher's not here, so the graphics go to Sarah, obviously. Where is
Topher? He didn't fix the stream.
We need to... Russell, this is your last name, dude? This is a great last name. Russell King Dollar. That's like king stuff right there, bro.
King Dollar.
Camera operation, Jonathan Hagan, and my sister, Lily Hauer. Let's go. VTR, Brent Cassillo, even that's false. He's right here.
Yeah, duh.
And Brock
Stupid.
Papke. So I don't even know how to close this episode. So much stuff happened. Sabres
So
State.
much. The stream was broken.
We won't see you for Thanksgiving because we're gonna be eating this next week. So no, not this actually.
Oh.
But we're gonna be eating pumpkin pie because we're fun.
And fat. I love my
Eat a lot on
pots.
Thanksgiving. We won't see you next week, but we're gonna wrap up now because we literally went 10 minutes over. So
we actually went 38 because we were supposed to start at 9.
What's going on with that? Okay.
We're on a roll, just like the Sabres.
Like the Vancouver Canucks. Okay, guys. Well, we won't see you next week, but we'll see you the week after that. right here at Hendricks Hall for Sports Hour.
And if you want to know the date, I don't even know the date, so.
It's 2 weeks from now.
I think it's the 29th.
Math.
29th. There it is.
It's simple math. That's our finale in 2 weeks.
That's our finale.
Someone's got to go through a table then.
It might be me.
It might be me.
If the Sabres don't win, I'm gonna be going through a table.
I think we wrapped up 3 minutes ago. Why are we still talking?
I don't. Did we read the credits?
I can read it through them again if you want me to. Elizabeth Weigeline, that's your name. Technical director. I didn't mess it up that time.
See, you messed it up.
No, I didn't.
You're messing up the shit. Oh.
You know what? And before we sign off, we need to talk about this real quick. Why is Topher on the graphics? The dude's not even in the same town, in the same city.
Wait, hold on. Can we really talk about something? I'm sorry, Sarah, but what's going on with Josh Allen? On a real note here, on a serious
What's going on with Patrick Peterson?
Jeff Saturday.